What up? What up? What up? What up? What's good, people? What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties, and these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike,
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's how I do this song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. This what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to stop. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Oh, Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. And you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Give me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Good morning. How are you? Hey. What's going on, y'all? Listen. I was over there. I thugged it out as long as I could over there at Really Be. But, sometimes those conversations when people call in, it goes left and it started to go left. And I said, let me go ahead and get this party started. Anyway, thank y'all so much for being over here. We gonna talk about some things. We gonna shoot this shit. We gonna have a good time. Now listen. In the house, me, Really B, and Abby, we all a family to my sisters. Now, Really B got the good room, the nice, big, good room where everything's nice and professional and all of that stuff. Over here, my room is the corner. We have hashtag corner culture over here. Listen, it's no holds barred over here. We say whatever. We put it all out there. We let you put it out there. We do not try to, stifle people in their opinions. We say it all over here, okay? Listen, my only problem with Katrina Amanda was when she started talking about schools, and a lot of the things she said about schools, I was like, let me check out. Because it's, me and Really be do have a whole channel about schools. We are educators, and some of that I had to, check out on. Anyway, hey everybody, go ahead and hit the like button. Let the people know that you are here. I'm so glad y'all are here. Hey to my regular people that's here all the time. Hey to my members. Shout out to the members only chat. They was in the members only chat once again, clowning like always. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Consider becoming a member. Trust me, the members will tell you that's the place to be. The members only chat. Anyway, so yeah. Thank y'all so much for being here. We're gonna have a whole conversation again today. Y'all know we've been having some great conversations the last couple days. Today will be more of the same. Well, not more of the same. We will amplify said conversations today. Mm. Just so you know, the coffee today is extra good. Extra. Okay. So listen, that's probably the members only chat going in right now. Um anyway, um, so let me say this. The end of Really Bees Live really segued into what we need to talk about today. Hey, everybody coming in the room. I'm gonna just say a collective hey, everybody. There's a lot of people coming in. So I just want to say a collective hey, everybody. Go ahead and put a hashtag Shondo in the chat for me. Listen, listen. I got so many things to say. Hey, Janae. Hey, Boo. All my regulars. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Shout out to the members in the chat. So listen. Thomas Dexter. Thomas Dexter has been the name that pays lately. Thomas Dexter has been the person that we all have been talking about. Now, now, I listen, let me preface everything about this live that says any allegations are allegedly. I don't have no receipts from nobody. I don't have no first person experience of what anybody did. I don't know nothing. Let me put that out there up front. Say everything is allegedly. Okay. Well, thank you for coming over here, Shark Tank Live. New here. Hey, if you're new here, have a seat. Have a good time. Feel free to say whatever you want to say. We have a good time over here. The hall monitors will guide you to your desks where you could come have a seat and have a good time with today's lesson. So everything is allegedly. I don't know any of these people. I don't have any connection to these people. I'm not going to profess that I got all of the tea. Um, Thank you, Superstar Graham. I see that Haitian flag. Make sure you tell your people save me a bowl of soup jumu on Monday. Okay. Now my birthday is on New Year's. So, Superstar Graham, make sure you tell your people have me a bowl of soup jumu on Monday. Okay. Shout out to all my Haitians in the chat. All my Haitians in the chat. All right. Hey, Patricia Cutler. Shout out to all of the new people in the chat. My old people, make them feel comfortable. Let them know they're free to say it and do whatever. This is the corner over here. You know how they say go to the corner? That means come over here to my chat. So anyway, I wanted to preface by saying everything is allegedly. I don't know these people. I wasn't there. I wasn't involved. And so that's why if you look at my videos the last couple days, I haven't accused anybody of anything. But what we have done is we've analyzed um actions of people who do things that these people are being accused of. And when we analyze the actions of people who have done things that these people are accused of, and we couple that with what we're seeing going on, we can make whatever assumptions we want to make or do whatever you need to do. I see you, child. Please stop. Sakpa said to you too as well. I ain't Haitian, but I'm born and raised in Miami, and there's more Haitians probably in Miami than it is in Haiti. Anyway, so let's talk. The title says, "Is TD Jakes going to step down?" That's a very good question. Now, by me asking the question, is really B, not really B, I'm saying really B because I just got off a lot. It's TD Jakes. Is Thomas Dexter going to step down? Hey, Lynn doing the do. By me asking the question, is Thomas Dexter Jakes going to step down? That is making no assumptions that he is guilty of anything. I have made no aspersions as to what that man has done, will do, or anything of the such. Be woke. Stay right there. Be woke. You right there with me. That's part of the conversation today. Hold that part right there. Hold that part right there, be woke. Hold that part. Now, hey, Montrez, what's good, bruh? So many of you all are gonna come right out like Patricia said. Ain't nowhere in the world. He ain't never giving that up. Nope, 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 nope. It's too much money, too much power, too much influence. However, we're gonna go down the rabbit hole again. We're gonna go down the rabbit hole. I can't say what this man will or will not do. I don't know. I am not him. Um, but listen, the members only chat. Shout out to the if you are not a member, just know the members only chat just got uh uh you know how they say if it bleeds it leads the news. The members only chat just got something and they're over here contemplating in the members only chat whether or not there's freaking pictures on the internet of Thomas Dexter's meat. God save America. God bless America. Listen, I'm not gonna even open the members only chat for the next hour because I might run across a picture that's gonna make me vomit on screen, and I want no parts of having anything up chucked out my esophagus because I went to the members only chat and they had pictures of people's phalluses. Lord help us. Shout out to the members. They're over there still clowning when they should be in the chat. Members, bring your ass over here to the chat. Get out the damn members. I mean, to the live and get out the damn members on the chat. Let me get back to my story. So y'all listen. Thomas Dexter. Let's go down the road. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Thomas Dexter is under a firestorm right now. Under a firestorm right now. Hey, St. James, what's going on? There's a firestorm around Thomas Dexter. A firestorm. Everything is burning around him. The house is burning down. And he alluded to this in his message on Sunday, where he says, oh, well, if you've been doing this 50 years like I have, you know how to make your way through it. You know how to navigate through this. I done been through this before, and I'll go through it again and I'll be okay. That's easier said than done. Let's paint the picture. Let's first paint the picture this way first, okay? 50 years ago, sir, was the 1970s, okay? In 1973, Al Gore's good internet was not even invented yet. Computers in 50 years ago was the size of this room, if not bigger. The cell phone was not invented 50 years ago. So many things have changed. You may have been able to talk your way out of and navigate out of things 50 years ago, but 2023 is not 1973. And the way the world is today, you ain't just getting out of stuff by saying, oh, I could just if because remember he gave us, the smoke it. Well, some people say a smoking gun, but when he said, well, even if I did do it, all I got to do is go, repent because the word of God is enough to wash away all sins. That may be true. And you may be very well able to go repent, have your Jimmy Swagger moment, cry, go prostrate before the Lord, snot bubbles, and all of that. However, because we about to paint this picture and then we're gonna go somewhere. Hold on. Shout out to the 500 plus people in the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. All of that good stuff. Share it out because we about to have a real good conversation. Now, let's be clear. 50 years ago, the prevalence of Black preachers on mainstream television was 0 to none. TBN was not even a thing 50 years ago. 50 years ago, the biggest preachers out there was probably what? Billy Graham probably was the biggest and most well-known preacher at that time. Hey, Yana, what's going on? Hey, Ravine. So, hey, everybody coming in. So, listen, You cannot equate 50 years ago Thomas Dexter to today. That's point blank. Because when something catches fire today, right, wrong, in between, whether or not you are innocent, guilty, or somewhere in between, that don't mean anything. Fred Price in the I remember Fred Price A Hill in the 80s, but I don't remember. I'm not old enough to be, I wasn't around during the 70s, but y'all with somebody old enough to remember would have to tell me if Fred Price was around during the 70s. So, but I remember Fred Price in the 80s. Reverend Ike, okay, maybe Reverend Ike was back then. Y'all gonna correct me. We talked yesterday about the fact that Bishop T.D. Jakes is not here, if not for Bishop Carlton Pearson. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Let me stay on point. Let me focus here. So here we got this man equating him and his 50 years in ministry to him being able to navigate out of this firestorm. Now, here's what we got going on. Let's come to today. What we got going on here is allegations against Thomas Dexter. And a lot of the allegations are red herrings. We talked about that yesterday. Red herrings. Nobody has anything substantiated. We got people talking about Diddy and Cassie and burner phones. We got, allegations of um grooming that people are making. Well, Larry Reed talked about the Manasseh Jordan video directly pointing to Thomas Dexter. These ain't no things that I'm alleging. These are things that other people are alleging. So we got a lot of things going on. Okay. Let's be clear. The red herring is the P. Diddy connection. By no stretch of the imagination should anybody believe that Thomas Dexter had anything to do with a Diddy sex party or anything. He might have been at a Diddy party. He might have gone, shook hands, kissed baby, he might even had a drink or two. But please believe it, ain't no part that's a red herring. This whole him being at sex parties at Diddy, that's a red herring. Ain't nothing. You gonna really have to show me some real receipts. None of that happened. We talked about that yesterday. But let's talk about how we get to a Thomas Dexter stepping down. So we got this whole firestorm going on. Ain't nobody really put a name on it yet. Ain't nobody really showed any receipts yet. But the reason I started off talking about the world is different now in 2023 than it was in 1973 is people don't need receipts in 2023. In the year of our Lord 2023, Thomas Dexter has to understand the people do not need receipts. That's one. Two, and when I say the people, the court of public opinion, don't need a single goddamn receipt. They don't give a shit about receipts. All they want to know is there a smoking gun? All they want to know is there anything I can gravitate to, hold on to? Can I make a TikTok video connecting dots for people that they need connected? These people don't need receipts. They will go and manufacture receipts. Please be clear. People get a smoking gun and they go and they manufacture receipts. They will make receipts appear. That's the court of public opinion. However, the dangerous thing is if there really are victims, and I stress the word if, when things like this happen, if there truly are victims or people even close to having a situation that can be contorted into being a victim of it, those people now have the backing, have the impetus, and then they have a moment of exigence. And that's our word of the day, exigence, 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 because they will have a moment of exigence where they will feel compelled to come forward and speak their goddamn minds. They will feel compelled to come forward and say, well, I saw the Larry Reed video. I saw the Manasseh Jordan video. He's already in a firestorm. So if I just go ahead and add my truth to it, I have cover. because you can't fight all of these battles at one time. You can't put out all of these fires at one time. So now you got the court of public opinion where you got people manufacturing receipts, but then you got actual people who may, one, have really gone through something, or two, had something close enough to what he's being accused of to where now they have real receipts. And those real receipts will start to come forward. We talked just matter of fact, screw yesterday. Let's go back to Monday. Today is Wednesday. On Monday, we went down the line. We talked about, oh, there could be people that come out and say that grooming happened. Sure enough, by Monday, I said that Monday morning, did I not? By Monday night, people were talking. The Manasseh Jordan video was everywhere. Yesterday, we did a whole breakdown of what grooming looks like in multiple different um, industries, even in the church. Now, a name was put on Manasseh Jordan's video. I will venture to tell you, the way this story has caught fire, we could be before the end of the week before somebody, a real person close to the inner circle, down to the Potter's house, could possibly come out. We could be before this week ends, and someone or some people will have said, here's what happened to me. Let me add my name to the story. Because we don't went from the Me Too movement to the Him Too movement. Hashtag Him Too. We don't went from the Me Too movement to the hashtag Him Too movement. Because it done happened to him too. I'm telling you. This thing has caught fire. And so that's why I'm going back to, hey, Thomas Dexter, you talking about, oh, I done been in the game 50 years and all of this, that, and the third. Sir, that doesn't mean anything. And like I said from the top, I am not saying that Thomas Dexter did anything to anybody or is guilty of anything, because come on, hashtag all us. I mean, I'm not saying that he did anything, but like I said at the top, it doesn't take you to have really done anything. If y'all, and if you do want me to, and somebody asked, somebody may ask, I should say, for me to drop a link. If that's something y'all want, just put a 27 in the chat. If you do want me to allow people to come up at some point, because if need be, I will. If not, I'll just keep with my commentary and we'll go from there. But the way this is going, TD Jakes needs to be worried, because now he's the theologian. He is the biblical scholar. He is the theologian. He is the biblical scholar. He is the one who, knows the Bible backwards and forward. So let me say this. There's a very well used and well worn out scripture that says, pride cometh before destruction, right? That whole sermon on Sunday, if that didn't ooze pride, if that didn't ooze ego, there was a lot of pride, hubris, ego in that. So, hey, Sticks girl. So listen. Thank you, CJ the cat. I might have quoted it wrong. I know there's a destruction in there somewhere. Is it pride coming before destruction and destruction before the fall? Something like that. I could have it wrong. I'm not saying that. Listen, Lisa, and I'm glad you brought that up. You say he didn't do anything wrong. He needs to stand his ground. We talked about that yesterday. Now, one of the topics yesterday was the fact that the black community holds the black church in the highest of regards in terms of all institutions within our culture and community. It's the black church. So when and if anybody comes at the man of God, when and if anybody says anything that makes the man of God seem like he's flawed, as if there's chinks in the armor, people come out like a hornet's nest, stinging everybody that has anything to say. They come out windmilling. The, the whole power bottom stuff, James Hudson, that's just people being salacious. Most people who were saying it didn't even know what a goddamn power bottom was. Anyway, but like I was saying, let me get back on topic. So let's lay this out there first. You coming out saying, "Oh, I ain't worried about this. I ain't got nothing to worry about." Sir, there's a whole fire going on, and the firestorm has gotten worse since you went on that got in that pulpit on Sunday. It has gotten worse. And I'm going to venture to tell you it's going to get even worse before it gets better. And this is me saying I don't know if TD Jakes did anything. But what I'm saying is you don't have to have done anything. You don't have to have people show you full receipts for you to have the whole building burned to the ground. You don't. So at the rate that this is going, you could have somebody making allegations before the week is out. This thing is grown legs. This thing has grown legs. It has gotten completely out of order. Now, here's the other thing. The other thing that people that I mentioned yesterday, and I mentioned on the live on, here's some connection. Now, you talk about connecting dots. Let's connect some dots here. Here's the connection that people aren't making. One of the things that I said yesterday, one of the things that I said even on Monday is when these things come out, when you got the Diddy situation, the TP situation, all of these things, in most cases, they don't come out of nowhere. They don't come out of nowhere. You have had some type of warning. Maybe your publicist, maybe your legal team got word that there was something coming down the pipeline. And many times, and many times, what happens is your pride, your ego, your hubris says, "Oh, that's just so and so. I ain't got to worry about that. Nothing to see here. I'm just gonna keep it it's gonna be business as usual. I'm just gonna keep it. It's just gonna be business as usual." However, you go about life as normal. But what a smart person does, you got two types of people. You got the people that say, "I ain't worried about it. It's just gonna be business as usual. They can't they can't do nothing to me. They can't touch me." And they go about business as usual. But what some of the smart people do is they say, "Yeah, they can't really touch me, but just in case, let me set some things up so I can buffer the fall that may come. Let me make sure everything is lined up and set up so that I may buffer the call." Now, I need a swig of coffee for this. First thing, anybody notice Thomas Dexter has already been putting things aside. Shout out to the 1,000 people in the chat. Thomas Dexter has already been putting stepping down from things, putting other people in positions of power. You saw what happened with the woman that are loose with Sarah Jakes. Sarah Jakes, he had the whole, "Oh, this is not an inheritance. This is a calling." There was that situation. Go with me now. You also had a situation that people have been saying for a while. If you watch the Potter's House, Thomas Dexter isn't up there preaching as much as he used to. He's basically stepped way, way, way back. Okay. He stepped back. You don't see him coming and preach every Sunday like he used to. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit for people who want to come through. So I say that to say this. There's already a mechanism in place where if he needed to step down, he could. He's already set it up. Please be clear. He's already set up the chain of command where if he said, hey, I'm going to take a step back and, came and gave a scripture, I need to be one with the Lord, or allow me to go and get right with God, or step back or commune with the Lord and see what he would have for me. It's already set up. Here's the other part that people have been quietly saying, and Larry Reed said it on his live yesterday, and I immediately caught on to it, bam, because I said, shit, people have been saying this for the last, I would say, about 18 months. People have been alluding to Thomas Dexter being ill, being sick, that something health-wise may be going on with him. Okay? Now, Larry Reed talked about, his hands shaking, but I've seen other videos and other things out there, people close to the fire, people close to the sun, that go out there and they talk about, he hasn't been doing well. That's why you don't see him preaching as much. People mentioned the shakes in the hand. Let's couple all of this together now. We're all vastly intelligent people. Oh God, I see you, Jonathan. Jonathan say Larry can't call nobody sick. Larry specifically was talking about the shakes in his hand. Y'all are silly. But he could be ill. And so what I'm saying is, and like I said from the start, I am not saying by any stretch of the imagination that Thomas Dexter did anything to anybody, that any of this is true. But what I will say is, things don't have to be true for you to have to leave and get out of the limelight. Even if it's not true, you could be damaging or doing irreparable damage to the brand, to the ministry, to the church. You may need to fade into black and fade into darkness and say, yeah, even though this ain't true, I ain't got nothing to do with this. By me going up there, standing flat-footed, saying, oh no, I'm gonna fight this. Oh no, I can outlive a lie. All I got to do is stand up here, and even if it was you, sir, you're not helping. This is not 1973, and you made a fatal error. You went up there. There was, like I said, there was a lot of hubris. There was a lot of ego. There was a lot of pride there. Sometimes you got to sit back and take a moment and say, wait a minute, let me assess what's going on here. Let me go ahead and assess what's going on here. And by me assessing what's going on here, let me make sure that what I'm doing is the right thing. I could see the board. The Potter's House is a business, and Thomas Dexter, as much as he would love you to believe, cannot and does not act in a vacuum. There's a board there. There are people on that board that are connected, that are tied to seeing that money is always coming in, making sure that the brand is always good and not tarnished. And sir, right, wrong, or in between, you may not need to be the one on the pulpit. You may need to call Sarah or Cora or somebody up and say, hey, I need you to preach this Sunday because this ain't the time. This is not that. All of the allegations, all of the fact that he may or may not have some health issues, the fact that you already have the institution set up to where, shout out to the 1,200 people here. If this is your first time here, hit the like button, press subscribe, all of that good stuff. Become a member, and that's where the real fun happens. I'm just saying, it's a lot going on here. Now, I hear what you're saying, the Bell perspective. If he didn't go up there on Sunday, it would have given people a lot more to say. You may absolutely be right. It seemed like the right thing to do. However, let's look at how it may have looked to him Sunday morning as opposed to how it's looking right now, Wednesday afternoon. This is Wednesday afternoon. And the way that comes off to us Wednesday afternoon is very different to how he conceived it in his brain Saturday night or early Sunday morning before he went live. Or before he went on the pulpit, I should say. For all of the people, this is your first time, man, I'm glad you're having a good time. When he went up there and responded, he basically said, how dare you believe these allegations? How dare these people think? It almost was like him daring the people that say, do you know who the hell I am? He might as well have gone up there and said, do you know who the hell I am? TD, I'm Thomas Dexter. You know who the hell I am? I did put the link in the chat. If that's something, if you know you want to come up and speak on this, just know that what I am going to ask, you don't have to come on screen with your camera on, but while I have you backstage, I may tell you to give me a thumbs up backstage so I can see you and know that you're a real person and stuff like that. So I don't have no situations on screen. I'm certainly going to put up a overlay and everything for that. I'm just saying. Right, Paula Jones Bowen. It looked good on paper, but you let it get listed, sir. A good church, a good institution right now. Yeah, Thomas Dexter is what TD stands for. I just say Thomas Dexter because it sounds better. It rolls off the tongue better. So listen, truth will always prevail, Mike. However, in your speaking or telling the truth, that might mean you may need to be in another part of the ministry. You may need to be or it may be time for a change. And nobody's accusing him of anything. But if I am the board at the Potter's house, what I am doing is, hey, we got to call an emergency meeting. Somebody got to come down here and talk to us. Come on down. Everybody need to come down here. We got a whole firestorm right now, and we need to put this out. This could have irreparable damage to the ministry. We cannot afford that. That's just the long and short of it. So with everything that's going on, and like I keep saying, we ain't said that Thomas Dexter did anything to anybody or that any of the allegations against him are true, but you don't need them to be true for you to have the house burning down in the year of our Lord 2023. I'm just saying. And it may be a situation where you may need to step down just for some time. And then as you know, the dust settles, or hopefully nobody comes forward and all of that stuff, you can come back and retake your seat. But sir, I'm telling you, you see where this is going. I'm telling you, we will probably not get to Saturday before somebody has come out and put and started telling their own story. People aren't even talking about Tyler Perry or Diddy anymore. They don't even care about Tyler Perry or Diddy anymore. All they care about is, hey, what's going on with TDJX? Because what this has shown you is who really had the power. Let's talk about those three: Diddy, Tyler Perry, TD Jakes. We talked about this yesterday. Tracy, give me a thumbs up in the back. Let me make sure that's you. I don't want nobody copying my beloved Tracy and coming up here porn bombing. Tracy, you got to show me that's you. Anyway, I see Tracy in the back. Just want to make sure that's her. I'm just saying. Okay, Tracy, I know that's you, but I am gonna put my overlay up because I know Tracy's voice, and Tracy is somebody. Once I hear Tracy's voice, oh wait, let me put a bigger thumbnail up. Let's see here. All right. Hey, Tracy.
You know what? At least it's better. You know what? At least it's not. At least it's not Scotty again. Because really be putting me out with Scotty.
What's going on, Tracy? What's going on, my love?
So I will say this. At some point, I do think that it will become outside of his control whether he steps down or not. Because you are the head of the church, yes, but you can be voted out. Yeah, it's your church, and that's all fine, well, and good. But in the church, there is actually like a hierarchy, and they can absolutely vote you out. They can absolutely say that this is too much bad publicity, and as much as we like you, you have to go. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It's just bad for the brand, and you have to leave. Now, they'll do it quietly. They're not going to tell us that. They're going to tell him that, and then he's going to give us this thing about how he's leaving. But it's because he got the boot. So I do think that there is a thought process of saying, yeah, you can leave on your own, or you can be removed. You can be removed. And people are like, oh, but why would he leave? Look, why would you leave? Because it's a tarnish to the brand. Because technically, ideally, the thought process is the Potter's house should be able to continue after he is no longer.
He's not the first pastor of the Potter's house. There was a pastor before him. Hold on, Tracy, 1 second. Xavier, let me know that's you back there, Xavier. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, I got you. Jay, I see you in the background. Give me a thumbs up, Jay. You don't have to keep your camera on. I just need you to give me a thumbs up in the background. Jonathan, he's not the founder of the Potter's house. I'll bring Xavier up because I know that's Xavier. Hey, Xavier.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Jay, can you give me a thumbs up in the background so I know that you're ready to go? I don't know. Go ahead, Xavier.
So I'm going to have the unpopular opinion. I don't think T.D. Jakes will ever step down.
Oh.
And my belief in that is because church is one of the most lucrative businesses out there. And it's one of the most best businesses to be in because you don't really have to be accountable to other people for a lot of things. Now, he might have to be accountable for the board, but the board's but church is a business. It's about the bottom line at the end of the day. If this is not affecting his bottom line at the end of the day, I don't think he'll step down. And I don't think it will because I can't speak to who his current membership is. I haven't done the most research. But I would gather to believe it's a bunch of older folks who are not in tune to the social media, who are not in tune to the TikToks and the rumors and the lawsuits and the conspiracy theories. So they're just going to. So personally, I feel like his little meltdown on Sunday was for our benefit more than it was for theirs. So I don't think they're not going anywhere. They're still there, and I think they'll stay there because they stayed there when it came out that his daughter was kidnapping children, which nobody ever talks about. We just let that whole thing slide.
The Cora kidnapping these children, that's a whole nother situation.
Nobody talked about that. We just let that go.
It's got a lot going on between the two stepsons and between Cora.
And then her husband was molesting one of the stepkids, allegedly. And let's not forget his ties to the Shade Room and all the fuck shit that entails. So they were still here. And that to me seems like problematic shit. Like you are literally engaged in a gossip site that is spreading misinformation and lies and deceiving people, and you're still here. They don't care. So I think this will be another drop in the bucket of things that they don't care about. But that's just me.
Interesting. Interesting. Um,
Oh, the Pentecost. Oh, wait, it's a Pentecostal church. The Potter's House. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They can
it
vote him
ain't
out.
as
They
Pentecostal as those of us who come from Pentecostal go. Jay, you came up. What you got to say, Jay? Jay, you're muted. You gotta unmute. Hello? There you go. Jay? You're really hold on, Jay. You're really your volume is really, really, really low. Let me see if I can adjust. Hold on. I'm gonna turn you up if I can. It won't let me turn you up. I was gonna try and turn you up because I can bear. Can you hear him, Tracy?
not really. No.
Okay. Maybe try to go out and come back in, Jay, and it may work that way. Sometimes that helps, but I can't really hear it. It may be your audio. One of my hall monitors, can you also drop the link again for um drop the link again, one of my hall monitors? Yeah, if you're talking, yeah, but it might work if he comes out and come back in. So listen, I think let me take down this um let me put the banner up and take down the overlay so we can see people's names. Hold on one second. But yeah, I don't I think that he showed us this past Sunday that his ego, his bravado, his pride, his hubris will not allow him to just, willingly and voluntarily step down. But this may be taken out of his hands. It may be taken out of his hands. We know his wife, Sarita, is very ill. We know there are allegations that he may be ill. And I just think, like I said yesterday, he may have had a situation of the proverbial striking the rock like Moses did. Moses didn't do anything wrong, but Moses got mad at the people and Moses hit the rock instead of speaking to the rock. And what happened from that little thing that he did the wrong thing, he no longer was able to go into the promised land. And I feel like his response on Sunday, the way that he came off, may be a situation that he can't come back from. Jazz niece. Hold on. I'm gonna put the overlay up. Hold on one second. See what other overlay I got.
I will say this. The only reason I say something about voting him out is because
I got you,
when
Jazz.
our pastor went to glory, when our original pastor went to glory, we went through a couple of pastors, and one of them we were like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work, because he started stealing money from the church, and he wouldn't leave, and we were like, yeah, that's not going to work, and so we had to like forcibly vote him out to get him out of the church, because he was like, yeah, I'm not going to resign. So we had to go through the process to like actually have him removed. So that's why I say sometimes it may be a process where he's like, no, I'm not going to leave. And they're like, no, 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 you have to go. Would probably be his only way out of that church. So you're correct. I don't see him just leaving on his own accord. But if he is forcibly removed, that final sermon is going to be, I'm choosing to step down. It's not going to be, they're removing me. Oh, he ain't going to say that. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, never.
Agree with you. I would venture to agree with you. Jazz niece, I hope I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I could be pronouncing that wrong. Is it Jazz niece or Janice?
Yes, you're actually saying it perfectly. It's
Oh,
Jasmine. Thank you.
that's the teacher in me. I get so many names that you get used to being able to say
Hmm.
black people name right. You
No,
know what I'm
seriously,
saying?
I was gonna throw that in there. That's the black in you, because Really, you hit it on the head because you know how you don't like for your name not to be called correctly, you know.
Hmm.
So thank you. But I just wanted to just touch on. I know I'm probably coming in. I was trying to come in, so I'm probably coming in a little late. I just wanted to touch on a few things you said. Tracy, you said that he would more than likely have to be voted out, that I'm stepping down is coming soon. That is so on point with everything that we've seen. And you said earlier, you said, haven't you noticed that Diddy and the other guy's stuff has kind of disappeared? Tyler Perry stuff has disappeared, and now
Hmm.
we're all focused on TD Jakes. And I think it is. I'm like, am I the only one thinking that in some way all this has a connection? And not saying he's the fall guy, but it feels good to not have the attention over there, doesn't it?
But what also, to your point, Jasnice, what that also is, it may, if it is calculated, I'm not saying, we have no evidence that it is something orchestrated between the three, but
Right.
think about it. It may be a conversation where he says, I'm the one that can take this. Y'all don't have the same backing of the
Mm,
community that I have. And if anybody
mm,
can bear the brunt of this, I can, because I am Thomas Dexter and
mm.
I am beloved. And that's more of the pride, more of the hubris, if you want to
What?
make that connection. Because, like you said, we ain't talking about Diddy no more. We ain't even really talking
Mhm.
about Tyler Perry. What people are saying is, oh, well, we need Christian Keys to make sure it is. With the
Right.
TD situation, they just went and ran with this. They ain't even waiting for people to put a name on it. They ain't waiting for
Right.
somebody to come with real receipts. They done took this and ran with it and said, nope,
Right.
it is what it is.
Right. So I actually think that it's telling. And a lot of us that grew up in the church, for those of us that may not go to a church today and they kind of condemn us like, oh, you don't go to the church. And it's really like we lost faith in the people that lead the situation more than God or the Bible itself. Right. So
Hmm.
I do think it's funny that more people actually believe it than not. It's kind of like you can't slap blue paint on my face and call it red and then think I'm supposed to be okay with it. Like I see you every day acting like this. It was only, I was surprised that you
Hey,
wasn't
Medusa.
this way if I'm being honest. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say because I was like, y'all talking some points. Y'all my little tribe now. I followed you. It's my first time on here, but I was glad to see that y'all was making some good points.
I appreciate that. Listen, we have a good time over here. Now, we don't only talk TD Jakes over here. We talk everything. We have a good old time over here. We laugh, we kiki, we joke, and
Right.
we get real,
So look, I
real.
got like and I hate to change the subject. I'm gonna change it and get out and then come back in as a viewer. But I have
Okay.
a blog. I'm from Tampa, right? I got a
Hmm.
blog called Why Hip Hop, and I'm really kind of scared to touch on subjects like this. But I'm trying to get into the YouTube world, so I've just been like watching and trying to
Hmm.
see what I really want to talk about. But I would love to, continue to watch you and see if once upon a time we could do something together because it's never too much
Absolutely.
as
We
content.
absolutely myself. I support other content creators, YouTubers, you name it. We do panels and stuff over here all the time. So absolutely, stick around. We'll be here. Always welcome over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um,
Bye, y'all.
all right, thank you so much. Do you Tracy and Xavier, do y'all think this is a concerted effort? Do you think that there was, because all of these people are connected, TD Jakes, Tyler Perry, uh Diddy, all of them are well connected. They on cell phone basis with each other. Let's be clear. Do you think that it was there was some talk and conversation that, hey, listen, we gotta, I don't know. I don't know. Did someone leak? Because where did this email come from where TD Jakes or Thomas Dexter, as I like to say, came is known? I see you, Willow. Where did that come from? Because we don't know who leaked this, or somebody had to get it from somewhere. It came from somewhere. Where did that come from? I don't know. I just
I
I
just
don't know.
want to make a point that Willow didn't get an overlay, but I had to get one. Just so
Because
you
she
know, I
showed me
clocked that.
herself
Nope,
back.
I clocked that. Anyways,
She
so
showed me herself backstage.
no, nobody has been able to figure out where this anonymous email come from. Nobody has gotten any verification. Nobody has gotten anything about the anonymous email that started the snowball, and then it transformed itself to an. So we don't know if this is a new snowball that Larry Reed has that has started, and with the Manasseh situation, or if this leaked email is a part of the same snowball. We are not sure because there's nothing that we have that ties those two pieces together right now. So right now, I guess for the general public, we have to look at those as two standalone things because there's
Mm.
nothing linking them together. Now, do I think that there is the thought process of saying, hey, of the three of us, I can probably shoulder the burden better than the two of you can? I can I can
I don't
see
see that.
someone at that level being that prideful of themselves, but I don't see him doing that. Like, you see
No.
what I mean? So I could see him being that prideful, if feeling like he could do it, but I don't see him just willingly doing that for them.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
Willow,
Because that's
what you
two
got?
different things.
What I wanted to say is that what I think the older church is having such a hard problem um moving into, just a different way of looking, is that this is not the old church of we're going to follow you blindly. We're not going to question any type of um anything that you do. We're going to worship to you like an altar. We're going to just do these things of just having you and just exalting you on high about everything. This is not the same church of like the glory days in the 90s and the early 2000s, where it's just like it was just a mega church. Everybody was going to church. Church was the thing to do. It was just church, church, church. It's like people are questioning things now. People are questioning things. People do not, they want you to be real. That's the whole thing. It's like we don't want somebody that we feel like, is next to Jesus and is doing everything, not necessarily doing everything perfect, but we want you to have a pure heart. We want you to be somebody that has a good heart. Like, yeah, we know that you're not perfect, but we know that you're still a good person. This whole thing of no, just don't question me. I might have done it. My family might be shady. I might be shady. I got a lot of shady things that pop up about me, on and on and on. But you can't question me because of who I am. That type of rhetoric is gone. And they just can't get past it. Like, you can't just do those things now.
I'm
That's my
hey,
thing. And I think that
I'm
might be a
with you.
downfall.
hmm and I think that there was a way to attack this where it wasn't so problematic. Let's say he had come up on the pulpit Sunday and said something to the effect of, "Listen, y'all, this ain't me. None of this is true. However, what I will say is that if that is your story, God loves you too. You are not, where it was this call to action to say, listen, although this may not be true about me, there may be people that are in that situation. I
Uh-huh.
love you and God loves you too, because we all, have sinned and come
And
short of the glory of God."
that's more of a humanistic approach. It's just like, hey, I ain't do it, but if that happened to you, that's horrible. That happened to you. That's horrible
Mhm,
that somebody has abused their position. That's horrible. But that same TD Jakes came with that same old school rhetoric.
mhm,
Touch not my anointing. Do
mhm.
this, I'm you attacking me as you attacking Jesus. See, that's how they have been able to
Right.
get away with that thing. Don't attack me, because you attack me, you question me, you're attacking Jesus. I'm going to make a correlation. It's not a and this is my thoughts. It's not the thoughts of L Teddy. It's not the thoughts of nobody on YouTube, nobody on the platform. But this is almost, it reminds me of problem that people are having with Israel. It's like the minute you attack me, you're anti-Semitic. You are, I mean, not the minute you attack me, but the minute you question me, the minute you say you disagree with my approach, you're immediately anti-Semitic. You're immediately wrong. You're above reproach. And that's not going to work for this generation to say, I cannot question what you do. I have to simultaneously go with everything you do. And the minute that I question anything you do, I am completely wrong. I'm wrong. I'm not Christian enough. I'm anti-Semitic. I'm things like that. That's not going to work for these people anymore.
And I think that this thing is so layered. It goes back so far. That whole mantra of touch not my anointed, or it stems from where we started off with the Christian religion when we were brought over here. The people who invested us or indoctrinated us with the
Right.
Christian
And
religion
that's
way back hundreds of
disgusting.
years
That's,
ago.
yeah.
They buffered themselves in their teaching of this to say the white man is pure, and
Right.
you cannot you can't second guess us, you can't question us, because that's biblically unsound if you
Right.
do that. And they found scriptures that made that true.
Right.
And once black people started to be able to read the Bible for themselves and understand, then we saw them for their racist ways.
Mm-hmm.
Wise, the church now, black pastors for decades on now have had that mantra of touch not my anointed and all of this. But we are now coming to a time where we are all learned, and we will question, and we will say, hey, that don't look right. We're not just going to take your opinion on it. But all the while in the black church, the pastors always find a way to buffer themselves. They always find a way to have a covering, and they will give you biblical doctrine and theology to, explain that covering and that buffer that they make for themselves. It's all very well calculated. But we are beyond that point now. No, you can't just tell us, oh, you know me, or oh, touch not my anointed. No,
If you're not,
it don't work like that.
you should be able to provide evidence that will be able to vindicate yourself. But in the meantime, the speech that you said, the approach that you said, I think that's good. Hey, if this is terrible, this is a terrible allegation. This is terrible for the people that it happened to too, but that's not me. That's not me. And anybody that's abusing their position for grooming to take advantage, for mind manipulation or anything like that, that is against the God also. It's not just against God too. You can't just say, oh, it's against God to question me. It's against God to do those things to me. But you're not saying what abusing that position, how the weight of abusing that position is. They don't want to say that part. And
Because he
that
has
type of way is
already
gone now.
abused his position.
Yeah, he
Mm.
has. But see, he doesn't want to mention that. Don't just say that the people that question you are wrong, and don't say what is wrong with abusing that position. You have to say what's wrong on both sides, not just what's on the lower side, because like you said, that's when the oppressed becomes the oppressors.
Interesting. Very interesting. It's such a, like I said, it's such a interesting situation. And when we start to unpack and have these conversations, like I said yesterday, we are going to the root and the core of our culture in Black America. The Black church is the strongest and highest and oldest institution in our culture, that and music. And you got people in the chat, and shout out to everybody in the chat. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. There are ways to donate to the platform scrolling at the bottom if that's something that you'd like to do. But what I'd like to say is, you got people in the chat, you got people in comment sections all over the internet that are on both sides of it. And like I keep saying, the people are going to fight tooth and nail to prove their point. All I want to do is, and all I have been doing, be it today, yesterday, Monday, is let's unpack some things. Let's look at the landscape and see what this stuff is, and have a real and true conversation about what is or may be going on here. And that scares many people. That scares a lot of old time Christians.
Mm-hmm.
That scares a lot of people who are of the notion that you ain't allowed to talk about you ain't allowed to talk about the man of God. You ain't allowed to question the church. And that's how this stuff has, proliferated over and over and over. That's how we have so many victims of trauma out of the black church. We have so many people with church hurt. All the while, the man or woman of God, whoever it may be, is getting more and more money. They're getting more and more members. They're getting more and more power and opportunities. And you over there in your corner of trauma and despair, broke down, busted, and
And I
disgusted.
cannot imagine
Um,
how they feel, those ones that watching somebody, because it's the using, it's the part. And let me tell you, the way that boy, the way that Manassas or whatever, he a little funny looking. Can I say that? He a little funny looking. I'm
you
sorry.
can say whatever
Just
over here. This is the
he was
corner.
he
We
was
say
he a
anything
little
with him.
he a little particular, because I was like, okay, but anyway,
His daddy is
anyway,
particular looking too, but that's the whole
right.
different
I
situation.
was like, oh, okay, okay, all right. So anyway, but he went into detailed descriptions of how it is done and the way, and anybody that has had a situation like that, that it's done just how he said it's done. It was done just how he said it's done. And you don't get that type of intimate know-how unless you've been there. So unless it was done by somebody else, it was done by somebody, because the way that he was speaking, that's a first-hand knowledge of somebody who been through it. If you've been through it, you're like, hey, those are details that you only really know unless you've been in that spot before.
Interesting. Interesting. Listen, I was laughing at the fact that Amanda MBS said Manasseh looks like AI. I'm not doing this with y'all today.
Maybe it's just a sporadic, like facial
Woo.
hair, almost like it's patched in.
Mm, mm. Listen, I just think that I think that we're gonna, at this point, we are in a holding pattern where we have to look and wait and see. But I think that a reckoning has been coming for the black church for some time now. Over the last 20 to 25 years, and COVID certainly exacerbated the situation. People just not feeling church like that anymore in the black culture, in the black community.
Hmm.
A reckoning in the black church, in the black within the black community, has been coming for many, many years now. And we went through COVID, and COVID exacerbated that situation.
And I think that part of that is because you had such infinite power over people and it was abused. So just like with the Catholic Church and their reckoning,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like you had such a stronghold on people for so long, and to misuse it and abuse it. So now it's like, hey, I gave you this gift for forever, and what this is what you done with it. So now I'm getting ready to blow it up, because I just like, even when I look at my old church, it hurts me to see that it's not of its former glory. Like we used to all be in church. The choir used to
Mm-hmm.
be hidden. I mean, just everything, all the ministries was just huge. Everything was huge, and it's nothing. It's like a skeleton of what it used to be. And so it's just like because people were so devout, and now it's just people have come to this realization. I've been doing this for so long, and what have I gotten out of it? And then I
Mm.
think it was the realization of COVID. It's like, I can do this from home.
Rusty Smith, I'm not saying that COVID made him get, what I'm saying is, and go with me here, Rusty. I don't think you understood what I was saying. I'm saying there's been a reckoning with the total. I'm not talking about just Thomas Dexter. I'm talking about the black church in whole. People just don't go to church like they used to. People have started to develop relationships with God on their own and started to see through some of the mess inside of the black church. And that's been
Mm-hmm.
going on for years. And then when COVID came and we were forced not to go to church because we had to stay away, then people started to really take time and say, hmm, yeah, I don't need to do that no more. They found other things to do. And then when things
Mm-hmm.
opened back up, they were like, yeah, I'm good. These people, I
Yep.
got enough trauma and hurt
Mm-hmm.
anyway. I got enough history with these people. No, I'm good. This ain't it. This ain't
Yeah, that what they said, I don't know who said it, like with that year 2020 and things becoming clear. And that's what it was. It was just it became clear with a lot of things, with people that thought they had obligations to work, people thought they had obligations to church and things like that. And it's just like, no, the real obligation you have is to your family and to yourself. And that's what being at home, being isolated, being this is it hopefully it brought you back to that introspective, is that my first obligation is to me and mine.
that comment right there, Wendy, is a very interesting comment. We don't attend church to get something out of it, but to
Mm-mm.
worship God. Fellowship is Christ's idea, so we can't throw the baby out with the bath water. Find a sound church. That's interesting because I disagree totally. I absolutely believe that people go to church to get something out of it, even if that something is, like you said, the fellowship
That's
among
what I was gonna say. I'm like, I
other
thought you
Christians, even if
supposed to
it's
go to
just
church for the
that.
fellowship. I thought
But
that's a part of it.
some people need church left to themselves, especially within the black community. Absolutely, at a time needed the church. The church was an escape. The church is where you could go and be uplifted because we had to endure slavery. We had to endure Jim Crow. We had to endure racism, and to this day, we still endure the big three, the holy trinity: racism, bigotry, and discrimination in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So the church became a place where we could be edified, we could be uplifted, we could be encouraged and empowered to go for the rest of the week and deal with the bullshit and fucked up
Mm-hmm.
that it is to live as a black person in these yet to be United States of America. So for the black community, it absolutely was a place for us to come get something. We had a commonality with our fellow saints, church members, and parishioners. We had things that we could utilize. There were real life lessons learned in the church. Think about the
Mm-hmm.
whole of our community, of our music comes out of the black church. Think
Mm-hmm.
about how many families started. You met your husband, your wife in the church.
Mm-hmm.
So many things come out of the church. So I think that I don't know that that's quite what you meant by saying we don't get anything out of it, but I would venture to say we absolutely get a lot out of the church. I did drop the link for anybody else who wants to come up. If
I
you
think
did, there's the link.
I think that church was at one time, it was whether it was supposed to be or that's just what it ended up being, was like an oasis for black people, right? It was an oasis where I can freely be myself, where I know that that I am loved, where I know that I can praise, I know I can do this, I know I can do this without all the judgment, stigma, criticalness or whatever of the outside world. I know that this is a place where I not only I feel God's love, but I feel the love of my community and everything. I think the problem is when church came out of being an oasis and started being another burden for black people, another issue, another place where I am being victimized or I am being traumatized just like I am on the outside world.
I think that I think that the reckoning that happened with the church is those things that the church was providing for our community that I talked about just a minute ago. They found other places that provide those same resources. They
That's
found
true.
other institutions that meet those needs. So there's no more need for me to go to the church and give them all my money too. No, I have no more need for that. I don't need those things. And until the church understands that and can move and or progress and grow and understand that it's going to be what it is. It's going to be what, and let's be clear, there's a lot of conversations and a lot of real things that we can talk about that I see in the chat. Don't think I don't see you in the chat. Y'all are talking about some great things in the chat, and each one of these are topics that need to be unpacked. And so I appreciate the dialogue in the chat. First of all, thank you all so much for the dialogue in the chat. Let me say this. I think too, one of the somebody mentioned earlier about the absence of men in the church. That wasn't always the case. That wasn't
No, because
always the
I
case
grew up with
in the church.
men in church.
That was
I never had it where men
right.
were not in the church. My
There,
father even was very actively involved in the church. They had men. Oh,
what happened?
hello. I'm
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
here. I can hear you.
They had men's mentoring groups. They had men's chorus. They had men in the kitchen. They had so my church had a lot of men in the church, but I think it's just a thing of people. This is the thing is it's those it's a thing of people don't need it, but you have to still create an environment where people want it, where that's somewhere people want to be. Because it's not a thing of where it's needed. It's just like it's a situation. They have options, right? So it's where I want to be.
And I think that um there are so many factors that went into the exodus of a lot of black men from the church. There's a lot of things. That's a whole topic unto itself. But it wasn't always that way where there were no men in the church. That's absolutely not true. That's something that people may have witnessed over the last 25 to 30 years. But if you start going back more than 30 years, go to a lot of black churches. The men were there. They had serious deacon boards and elders,
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff. That it wasn't always that way. And there's a conversation to be had about the exodus of black men from the church. So yeah. I'll say this, and I'll drop the link one time. I definitely thank everybody for being here, but I'm gonna give it about another 10 or 15 minutes and we'll be out of here. But I do want to say back to the topic at hand, the original topic, which is Thomas Dexter stepping down or perhaps being forced down. I do think that whether or not you like him, whether or not you agree with who he is or what he does, I do think that it will become that'll be a tremendous blow. And the black church and Christianity in general has survived many, many, many blows, and it'll survive that one. But it'll be one of those cataclysmic shifts where it's like, ooh, like when you get a gut punch stops you in your tracks. You can't just go like normal after a gut punch. It takes you a while to kind of get your bearings back and to kind of get back to normal breathing and normal actions, and you'll eventually get back to normal. But that gut punch stops you in your tracks, and you have to regroup and you have to reassess and you have to rethink about what and how you're going to proceed further. And so I do think that should Thomas Dexter step down or maybe even be forced out, it will certainly be a gut punch to the black church, but to the Christian community in general. I absolutely feel that way. Absolutely.
But if he doesn't step down, and if the hand is forced, because let's say this all goes away, right? Let's say it all goes away. This allegation, it only makes the storm grow bigger and then come back even bigger. So maybe this is God giving him an opportunity to, hey, be humble in the last few moments he have and step down or whatever. Or is it just going to come back around and it'll be something even crazy? Because it's a lot of chattering. That stuff with his daughter, that just was earlier this year. And
Hmm.
then with this whole going straight to the ministry basically going straight to his door. That's a thing people are kind of
Don't
not
forget the
liking.
situations with the Sarita's two oldest sons. I remember the one that was caught in the park by the police
Right. So
officer and
then,
all of that
okay,
stuff.
exactly. So then now here it's coming to him. Okay, so and then this is not a thing where you are Job and you are just being attacked and you just living righteous and everything like that. It's a lot of things where it's just like we're not gonna answer it, we're not gonna do anything. We are just beyond reproach, and that's not gonna work in this day and age. So if it goes away, I don't think it's just gonna go away and it's just over. I think it's a
Hold on
thing
one
of
second, Willow. Tracy or one of my hall monitors. I don't know who Good Times Only is. All of this Christmas is evil. Go ahead and take care of that for me, hall monitors, please. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You can go
yeah,
ahead.
so I'm afraid for them if they don't do the right thing, maybe whatever is the right thing this time, and hands are forced, and next time it comes back bigger and dirtier. That's my fear.
Okay. Yeah, no, and I thank you. And thank you also. Hall monitors, y'all don't have to ask me no questions. Y'all know, block whoever you need to block. We don't even play them games. Y'all know, take your katana blades out and do what you need to do. Well, thank you so much, Willow, for coming
You're
up
welcome.
and,
Have
and, and
have a
adding
great
to
day.
your commentary was phenomenal. And I thank you so much for coming up and adding to the commentary that we had today.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too, you too.
Bye.
Listen, y'all. We this is interesting. This is interesting conversation. Like I said, I see y'all in the chat, and y'all are in the chat giving giving y'all commentary. Some of y'all are giving me the business, and I'm okay with it. You don't need to always agree with me. It's not about always agreeing with me, but it's certainly about you having a place to have the conversation and get your point out there, because in the Black community, there's, like I keep saying, there's no higher institution than the Black church. We are all um we are all we all come from families who are rooted in the church. Very few, and that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be, Baptist, Pentecostal. Many Black people were Catholics. Know a lot of Black people that their families grew up Catholic, have always been Catholic. There's no monolith to religion within the Black community, but the one commonality is religion has been very very well vested in our community. Listen, y'all, I don't know what will happen to Thomas Dexter over the next coming days and or weeks, but what I will say is this ain't dying down no time soon. This ain't dying down no time soon. Listen, y'all, I want y'all to go ahead and put a hit the like button. We about to get out of here. And go ahead and subscribe. Listen, we do a lot of deep dives over here. We spend a lot of time over here having a good time, having fun. I'm going to play a quick video for my members and my regular people, because we have not had one of these in a few days. So this quick short video is for my members, because we've missed seeing our boy Larry Myers, and we have not had a sugar spike moment. And I know the chat has made some of my mods and hall monitors spike out. So just for the sake of it, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender conforming members of our audience, it's now time for your sugar spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. I had to do that for my for my regular subscribers and members. They love the Sugar Spike segment, and we haven't had a good Sugar Spike segment all week long. So I had to do that for my people because I love my people. They know I love them. We usually have a Sugar Spike segment every live, but we haven't had one in the last few lives. So that's just for my people. I love y'all. Listen, y'all. We about to go back to we have a members only chat over here. We do have a members only chat, and in the members only chat, that's for our members. We go ham over in the members only chat. If you think what we're talking about now is bad, we are very tame here. The members only chat is where all of the tea gets spilled and where it really goes down. So shout out to the members. We about to go over to the members only chat. Abby, are you going to go live, Abby, to talk about the reunion stuff? Let us know in the chat if you are. But listen, at one point we had 1,300 people here in the chat, and we are grateful for everybody who came over. Hit the like button, share this video out. We did get a lot of important. Okay, so Abby's going to go live at 2, y'all. Abby or one of the mods, put Abby's channel in the chat. Abby's channel link in the chat for me, please. If you came over here, this was your first time here, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. But go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Share this out. There's like I said, there's important conversations that were had on this live today. Check out the live from yesterday. Check out the live from Monday. The Monday live was the Run Your Mouth Christmas edition, where we talked a lot toward the end of the video about all of this. Yesterday, we did a whole live about grooming, not just within the Black church, but within several different spaces. And today we're here. We're analyzing. We'll be live again tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll go live Friday because Friday night I am going out of town for the birthday trip Friday night. But y'all know I'll be live on Monday for my birthday. So y'all lay around for that. Listen, y'all, as I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. Thank you for they're much obliged, they're much appreciated. Thank all my hall monitors for holding the chat down, holding me down. Thank all my members for being involved. Thank everybody who came through for adding to the conversation. We are certainly going to have more conversations like this. I'm grateful for everybody being here. That's all I got for y'all. It's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out of here.